Are you the new heavyweight king in the UK? Would it be fair to say that?
Yeah, I've seen myself as putting myself through with this win as #1. You know, up there with all the top names. You know, all the old dinosaurs are starting to move on, and I think he's one of them. He's been in many hard fights, and he has got many miles on the clock. And
I found the formula.
I believe it's a fight that he can win. He has the tools to do it. He's got a very good boxing brain. He's got a superb jab again, as we talk about jabs. I mean, it's a big thing for me, but he's got a superb jab. He's got a lot of power. He's a very hurtful puncher. He's got a good boxing.
I think once the fight comes there, he'll be trained for the fight, and he'll be focused on Joe. I hope he's focused on Joe. I hope he is, because I know Joe can win either way. Even if he is or isn't like overlooking him, I know Joe can beat Dubois. But it's an interesting one because subconsciously, once that's set in your mind, you're always looking ahead. So whatever. If he is, he is. If he's not, I don't care about it really. Just focus on my man and getting him ready for it.
You're 100% confident Joseph Parker becomes a two-time world heavyweight champion?
Yeah. The fight has the exciting fights. He carries power, and I'll tell you something. He hits someone. If he hits you on the arm, you know you've been hit. Wherever he catches you, you know the power, and that can take the fight. And that can take the fight out of people when they get caught like.
A powerful rising star engages a battle with a refined veteran opponent in combat. The central theme of this heavyweight clash will be answered when Daniel Dubois meets Joseph Parker in their upcoming decisive fight.
No way, I'm gonna do a demolition job on him first, and then I want Usyk next. I'm ready for it, and I'm on a roll. So, bring him on.
He might be looking too far ahead, planning big fights, other big fights, but you got to fight right in front of you right now.
No, ask him. I got my mind firmly set on you.
They better be,
man. Hey?
They better be.
I do. I think he's got the style to beat Daniel Dubois. I think sometimes when you get that big win, you get a little bit carried away, see him in the ring against, calling out Usyk, and, if I'm Joseph Parker, I'm just chipping away, working away.
Second one. No soft touch here. Joseph Parker's in the form of his life. Andy Lee has been amazing for him. I spoke to Joe on my podcast a couple of days ago, and he is just absolutely bang up for this. He's put a bit of muscle on. He's got George Lockhart with him. He's got Andy Lee. He's got a great team. Obviously, one of the nicest people in boxing. Daniel Dubois has got the momentum and the confidence now. It's fantastic being around him. He came back from a holiday in Brazil, super sharp. I saw him on the pads, maybe in his first or second training session back, and he looked incredible.
Yeah, what do you think about that fight?
Which one?
Dubois Parker, if it does happen.
I think Dubois wins it. Because I don't think Joseph Parker's got a strong enough chin. Daniel hits hard. Daniel hits hard. So I see that fight. Daniel winning 5 rounds.
End of this month, I think a Joseph Parker fight is bigger than Parker, naturally bigger. He punches hard on him, but Parker's on a couple of decent wins. Yeah, beat Zhang, he beat Deontay Wilder. They're good wins in good form. Do you know what I mean? He's looking like he's really getting his second win in his career. So if Dubois can beat Joseph Parker after the wipeout job against AJ, he really has established himself as a bona fide world champion.
Yeah.
So, and it's a fight that will be good because you never know because Parker's got all that. He's got bags of it.
I'm kind of like Joseph's unofficial promoter. He's a mate of mine. I love him, and I think he's going to win.
The heavyweight bout represents greater stakes than a typical high-stakes fight because it contests youth against age and aggressive force against tactical mastery. Dubois fights to keep his ascension while Parker battles to bring the world champion title back to him.
Parker, Daniel Dubois aside, is the most informed heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, both of them in great form, to be fair, yeah.
If anything, I think actually Joseph Parker is in better form than Daniel Dubois because that spree of fights of Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, great.
Let's just look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous because Zhilei Zhang was undefeated, in my opinion, until he faced Joseph Parker.
He's becoming a bit of a giant killer, Joseph Parker, really, isn't he?
He really has. And I've got to give
Daniel Dubois next on the list for him? Yeah.
It's a potential.
Jarrell Miller, Philip Hergovich, Anthony Joshua now fighting Joseph Parker within 18 months. He's only 27 years old.
Love it. I love that he's been busy.
his fight with Joshua wasn't a big bruiser. So, you know, coming back, and especially coming back against Parker is that's a really good fight for him. I think it's a fight that he'll win, but it's a good boxing match. You know, and then like I always say, more than anything, I want to see good boxing matches.
I think that what's been incredible with Daniel was, you know, years ago he got stopped by Joe Joyce. A lot of people labelled him a quitter. Same thing happened in the Usyk fight.
He had to grow up. He had to grow up, you know. And listen, this is what we know about heavyweights. They mature later than any other weight class, you know. So he matured a little later, and I think he's grown through some of his growing pains. And the worst thing for a fighter is you see our growing pain.
I can see Parker beating him on points. Yeah. Dubois is getting bigger and stronger all the time. Like Dubois is a different kettle of fish now 2 years ago. So, you know, when it only takes one fight to paint a picture. Like, I used to be known as one of the hardest men in British boxing. I pull out in the corner against Fraser Clark. I'm a quitter, I'm this and that. You know, you go from one of the hardest men in British boxing to a quitter overnight. But I used to look at Dubois and go, he's got a bit of quitting in him. He's a bit chinny out. You know what I mean? Like, he's not anymore, is he? Like, he's walked through Hergovich, walked through Miller, walked through Josh.
Both fighters enter this heavyweight bout, which will redefine the division after coming off winning performances with championship dreams at stake. So, who has the upper hand? Let's dive into the details. The recent success of Dubois includes 3 significant boxing wins, especially his upset victories against Gerald Miller and Anthony Joshua by knockout. Through his extreme forceful punches and non-stop fighting spirit, Dubois established his reputation as a dangerous opponent within the heavyweight division.
Getting all the belts and just being in the best fights, the biggest fights. This is one of them. Joshua's the last one, so I'm on a roll and I need to keep that momentum going, you know, to become the best and prove that I'm the best.
Listen, my team is very small. I got Andy Lee, teacher, and I got George Lockhart doing strength, conditioning, nutrition. I think having a small team and then having someone like Andy who's going to guide me in this fight with the game plan. They're very important to have a good game plan and execute it well.
Looking forward to beat the champion who's going to win the fight between Dubois and Parker. And I'll see what will be next.
Who would you rather fight out of Dubois and Parker?
The winner. So I think Parker will win the fight. I think that's my opinion. But the winner, I'll face him.
It's a hard predict because I think this is a truly 50-50 fight. And I like both of these fighters. I think if I have to say something, I'll tell Dubois to come there and don't be overlooking Joseph.
That's a good question. You know, it's probably, you're looking at a multi-layered fighter when it comes to Parker. I think you're going to have to, Dubois is going to have to show us something that we may not have seen in him. We know he's got this reputation as an explosive, bulky type of fighter who can create highlight reel knockouts. But I think he's going to have to show some of the IQ, if there is any, there. And that's going to expose whether there is any or not. And if he's able to beat Parker because he's going to have to show this IQ in this fight, then we're going to be able to check off another one of the boxes in terms of how we rate Dubois and say, okay, he's even higher and even better level than we've given him credit so far. You know, it's another one of those check marks.
Really tough fight for Dubois. Not an easy route for anyone in the heavyweight division. This new version of Joseph Parker. The guy's got a very good chin. He's got a great gas tank, good motor. He knows how to fight punchers. He's coming off of 2 humongous punchers in Wilder and Zhang. Granted, Wilder didn't fight the fight, doesn't look to himself, but Zhang sure did. Zhang dropped him twice. Parker got up and outboxed him. He's a very, very capable guy in there, even a heavyweight. He's a big guy, too. People forget. Yes, he's a technician. Yes, he's kind of crafty and will outmaneuver you. But he's big enough, durable enough to deal with these super heavyweight guys and a big punch like Dubois. Very, very tough fight. Good.
At the elite level, power alone is not enough to secure victory, thus Parker's experience might prove beneficial. During his fights with Deontay Wilder and Zhang Jilei and Andy Ruiz Jr. at the top level, he demonstrated his ability to last through tough battles and change his fighting style successfully. The fighting experience of Parker surpasses Dubois because he has survived brutal bouts in deep waters against major opponents, including Wilder and Ruiz. Professional boxing commentators inside the United Kingdom hold different opinions about who will win. The strength of Dubois' punches makes some observers doubt Parker's ability to remain resisting since the American boxer has suffered knockdowns in past fights. The defensive ring intelligence of Parker, together with his opponent frustration technique, might reduce Dubois' offensive impact. Eddie Hearn understands that the fighter method used by Parker during his previous matches makes this fight with Dubois a challenging proposition that could extend throughout the entire bout.
A dream fight, you know. I think Daniel, who's on a roll at the moment, who's very confident.
Another hard fight for him, by the way.
I was just going to say, he's in with it. He's not got another. He's not. When was the last time he had an easy job?
Precisely.
I mean, he had no easy jobs, and he's in with a winning fighter, a guy who's turned his career.
And so you find yourself in a situation when you listen to Joseph Parker that there's not a lot of trash talking that goes on. He can have a go, and you know he did the other day in the face-off when they had a little bit back and forward with Daniel Dubois with Adi Oladipo on DAZN. But most of the time you get sensible conversation about him. He's very respectful. He's also a very good fighter. I just think that Daniel Dubois is going to be a step too far for him. I don't think it's a formality, but I do think that Daniel will win, and I do think that he'll stop.
Parker Dubois. I fancy Parker. He's not an underdog in this fight. Everyone makes out as though he's a massive underdog. I'm not saying Dubois can't beat him or isn't going to beat him, but I'm saying what I can see so many ways how so many assets that Parker has that can cause Dubois a lot of problems, and if Parker wins, I'm not going to be shocked.
People question Dubois most about his resilience after he suffered a loss to Joe Joyce. Many observers recall Dubois being defeated by Joe Joyce, who had caused a fractured orbital bone, which led to his referee stoppage. Many spectators doubted his ability to recuperate psychologically after his recent loss. The fighter seems to be strengthening his abilities on the ring during recent matches.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like, obviously Dubois hits hard. He's come from like more, I don't know, stepped up, but then also Parker as well. Like they've both come along and they've both like been in big fights. So yeah, I'm really excited to see who gets the win.
Yeah, they've both been on really good form recently. The past year or two.
Both got different attributes, but see made the best.
I like Dubois, man. Dubois the beast. Honestly, I said that from when he fought against Hrgovic. I said that, yo, who is this kid, man? I go, this kid's good. And I remember watching that live, and I like the way he fought and how he puts his punches together and how strong he is, and the way he took those fighters apart. Obviously, he's coming off a great win against Anthony Joshua. He's gonna have more confidence. So yeah, I think I got Dubois good in that fight.
His commitment in stopping Joshua through intense fighting has brought many to believe he has developed enough to accept the most challenging battles facing heavyweights. The heavyweight division has seen Parker having a significant comeback in his career. Parker receives enhanced physical and mental preparation from his coachee Andy Lee and conditioners George Lockhart, which has made him display unmatchable strength and focused determination. The heavyweight division now considers Parker as one of the top fighters thanks to his wins against Jiang and Wilder, with a victory over Dubois solidifying this position. The path to victory for Parker depends on his effective movements, combined with his counterpunches and his ability to sustain battles through extended periods extending into later rounds because of his accumulated ring experience. The approaching fight has generated a spectrum of betting predictions among observers. The debate continues about whether Dubois will use his youthful power to blast through Parker before Parker uses his ring wisdom and punching defense to outfight him.
I think if you need to be honest about it, you know, listen, Joe's a really good friend of mine, but if I want to be impartial, I want to pass comment on things, and I want to, you know, I need to be honest about it. It is a 50-50 fight. I think you look at both guys' momentum, you know, like you just said, Dubois has been unbelievable in his last 3 fights, 3 big wins. You look at Joe, his last 2 fights, especially Wilder and Jiang, 2 unbelievable wins, 2 great performances. I think if you look at both fighters, they're both pretty opposing characters, pretty polar opposite really in their personality, the way they go about things, their journey so far.
The upcoming heavyweight match represents an equal chance for victory between the two contenders, with major repercussions for the heavyweight segment of the sport. The future of heavyweights lies with Dubois winning the bout or Parker proving durable enough to claim victory. Both contenders face an intense matchup. Which fighter will emerge victorious?